Hi everyone, this is Lisa Acquafredda with Unipathic News, and today we are talking about a subject that frightens us all. If we hear the word chemotherapy, I'm sure you at home can relate. It's automatically scary. That is a word that frightens us all. And we are here with Dr. Dino Prato of Envita Medical Center. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you and your team have a new study that is completely innovative.
Well, what we've done is we've published on something called GTF, which we call genetically targeted fractionated chemotherapy. So what does this mean? We take the guesswork out of people just getting random chemotherapy, and we start with genetic testing in real time. So we know what are the best possible markers that we can use for those patients. We call those actionable markers. And then we use both targeted chemo in low doses and at the same time natural phytotherapeutic plants to help augment that therapy and combine those for the patients. So the patients are getting something completely different, targeting their cancer without the toxicity and side effects. That's what we've been doing. We've been doing this for 15 years, and we've just, in the last 5 or 6 years, have really brought the GTF part of our therapy to the point where we see our patients start to respond when a lot of the major cancer centers have failed.
Wow, that is very innovative. Yeah. And now, what specifically are actionable genetic targets, and why are these so important?
Because cancer is not a disease of tissue. Okay, you've heard people have breast cancer or lung cancer or colon cancer. That is not as important as what is the specific genetic information in that cancer. Once we take a look at that cancer cell and we break down that material, suddenly now we know what is in that cancer cell. And we know exactly, to a better degree, what that cancer cell is going to respond to. That's called an actionable biomarker, target, genetic marker. But the problem is, even some of these centers who are doing genetic testing, they're using old information, like biopsies from 2 years ago. We see patients that fail chemotherapy and cancer treatment everywhere else. So we need real-time information on the newest mutations on their cancer. That's what we're able to collect with circulating tumor cells. Then target the therapy and give it in micro doses so we don't get the side effects that others get. And then we're able to use, instead of 1 or 2 drugs or 2 or 3 treatments, we're able to use 10 or 15 different targets at one time to go after their cancer. So significantly different.
Very cutting edge. And
yeah.
I'm sure people at home are wondering, well, if I've already had chemotherapy, I've already done conventional chemotherapy, will this fail?
Well, the answer to that question is they're using an outdated method of cancer treatment. So when they're using conventional chemotherapy that's used by all the major cancer hospitals, then they'll look for one actionable biomarker target. The biomarker drugs in themselves are some of the most toxic drugs patients can be exposed to. That's why it's important that not only do we test for those biomarker drugs, but it's how you deliver them in the proper microdosing so you don't toxify the body, but yet speed the healing. So my answer to those people is that they're using old, outdated technology, in our opinion, and that our technology has been used in stage 3 and 4 cancers, and these are the patients who are extending life, quality of life for a lot of them, and some of them even helping come into remission. Now we can't guarantee that for everybody because that's not what medicine, but what we're using is about 7 or 10 years, in my opinion, and in our colleagues' opinion, of what's in the current industry right now.
And you mentioned quality of life. I mean, there are stories, and you've really helped so many people, and you hear those stories on a daily basis. What is one that just really kind of touches you?
Well, just recently we had a story of a patient that went to Sloan Kettering, which is a very famous cancer center in New York, Mayo Clinic, you may have heard of that, in our local area, and they were sent home to hospice. And the patient had 2 types of cancers, testicular cancer and a renal cell cancer of the kidneys. And there was nothing left for that patient. So we began doing this biomarker targeting. We combined that with targeted immunotherapy, where we were able to build vaccines to target the cancer. We combined the treatment for the patient, and we literally have slowed down the cancer, arrested it. The quality of life is tremendously better. We've shrunk a majority of the cancer there. So we've taken somebody that was about to go to hospice and now not only help them improve their quality of life, but give them a chance moving towards remission. This is recent. I mean, we have a lot of these, but it's not for, every cancer is different. Every person is different. So it's not fair to say that everybody we're going to treat is all going to have the same results. I don't want to say that, but the technology we're using is 7 to 10 years ahead of the rest, and I believe patients deserve this technology. The old stuff that they're getting in these cancer hospitals is outdated, in my opinion, and we're going to look back someday and say this is medieval alchemy of what we've been giving people, just pouring chemicals into their body based on a cookbook or a clinical drug trial model that's really outdated.
That's scary.
Instead of matching it to what they really need. And people deserve that. They really deserve getting the right match. So usually when patients come to us, they're excited. They didn't even know these options were available. They had no clue.
And that's also what you guys are doing with immunotherapy. Really quick, let's explain what that is.
So basically, the immune system is the first and last defense of cancer. So the immune system fights infections, all that, you know that, right? But immune system is critical to fighting cancer, right? So when we take chemotherapy in these high doses, and basically you destroy the immune system. So when the immune system is weak, your cancer is spreading. Think of it this way: when your immune system goes to sleep, metastases and spreading goes up. So you need a strong immune system. So specific cells like natural killer cells, dendritic cells, macrophages, these are all cell types that we augment in our patients, strengthen in the patient to give the body a chance to heal. And when the immune system is intact and the treatments are targeted, you have a totally different response in your patient.
And are you looking to combine immunotherapy with this new form of chemotherapy?
That's what we do every day, and that's the advantage, is that these two technologies, amongst others that we have in our facility, is what gives the patients a unique advantage, because they're not just doing one isolated. See, if a patient goes into a clinical drug trial and maybe just does an immunotherapy, they're getting a one thing and hoping for a one-hit wonder. But when you're combining all these things, you're hitting the cancer from every angle. Makes sense scientifically, makes sense clinically, and basically the patients will feel the difference. In the whole time that we're treating them, we're also rebuilding their immune system, restoring their nutritional deficiencies, their fatigue, their dehydration, so they got energy and stamina. Our cancer patients don't look like cancer patients. Let me say this. You can go to some of the best cancer centers in America and find that when you go into their cafeterias, these people look deadly sick, like they're dying. You don't see that in our facility, because of the way we approach cancer that's extremely unique and specialized to Envita. And we're very proud of it, and we're hoping this work spreads, because we are killing generations of people that need a better approach to their cancer.
Well, it sounds like you guys are really changing the future when it comes to cancer and chemotherapy and what you guys are doing.
That's our hope.
We really appreciate it, and thank you so much for watching. This is Lisa with Unipathic News.